Morning, everybody. Welcome back to South Hill Farms. Hope everyone's having a great week. Had a great weekend, and last time I left you, I was explaining how I'm going to put the driveway markers up and install them. So they've all been installed, and I'll show you exactly what I've done and how it's worked. You see some in the back over here already that I've installed all the way along the driveway, and they have reflective tape on them, and that really brightens up at night when I come home at night or leave early in the morning. And it just helps me identify where the sides of the driveway are, for the simple reason is that last year we had record snowfall, and I got caught, even though intuitively, because we had these, the previous owner had these, and intuitively I knew what they were for, and I installed them before the snow came. So I was fortunate that way. I just didn't install enough of them because there were some steep drop-offs in my driveway, and my tractor went off a couple of times on them. And so now I've installed them on the parts where I know I'm going to have a problem. So I'll show you those and go on from there. So see, over here we've got all these driveway side markers over here, and those are all so that, hopefully we don't get as much snow as we did last year. Most of the snow started to fall beginning to mid-January. Before that we were having a pretty easy-going winter, a nice winter here in Nova Scotia, and it was great. And I'm a little bit more prepared this year, in that this year I have a snowblower. Last year I bought a used snowblower, middle of the height of the snow season, and we still had a month of snow left on that, but I could have gotten it earlier and I didn't. But even sometimes that snowblower just didn't do it, simply because we had really wet snow, and it's belt drive. Most of these snow blowers are belt drive. They're not the greatest in the world, but hey, look, I mean, I can't shovel my driveway, right? So I scrape it with the tractor. Hope I'll show you that this winter. I scrape it with the tractor, and then if there's any on the sides there, I'll have to use a snow blower to make sure that I leave a really good clearance, and that the snow doesn't pile up right at the edge of the driveway this year. So we've been getting a lot of rain, normal amount of rain this fall, and we've been getting windy weather this fall. A real change from what we've had in the summertime, which was so dry. It was desert dry, and yeah, so desert dry, and from just more regular type of precipitation that we're now getting. And here's a field over here I don't know what to do with yet. I've already asked the agricultural extension people what their views are, and they said, well, don't worry too much about that. Just start working on the other field when the time comes. And the reason I wanted to do something with this field is because in Nova Scotia we have a hunting and fishing act where anyone, doesn't matter who it is, can come across a property, and when they come across a property they can fish in a pond or whatever. And which is ridiculous, because this pond is an irrigation pond and it's on my property, and my house is right up there. And every time you say, well, that's a bit of a distance from your house, what's it to you? Well, what's it to me is it's on my front lawn, believe it or not. And when you have somebody on your property, on your front lawn, you kind of feel a little violated. You feel like, hey man, what are you doing on my property? And of course they don't look at it that way, but there is one provision, one caveat, one provision on the act, is that people cannot cross agricultural land. So my view was, well, if I plant something there, it becomes agricultural land. And actually this land is agricultural because we hate it. So the hay is the crop, and so it becomes agricultural land. So right away, it's not a pond that is, people can come across and come and put their fishing rod in. And it's not like there's a lot of fish there anyway. There's, being a vegetarian, I don't eat fish either. And yes, for those of you that say, well, vegetarian is, fish is not meat. Yes, it is. And not that I have an issue with people eating fish. Please don't get me wrong. I probably would eat a little bit if my wife would prepare it, but her recollection of fish when she was young was not good, and even though I enjoy it, she does not. So I just let it lie, and because it's just not an issue for me. And since we've moved out here to Nova Scotia, we've been eating. Every once in a while when we lived in the city, we would go to a restaurant maybe, and every 3 months, 4 months, we would have something with meat in it, even if it was limited amounts. But we don't even do that anymore. Every time we go out now, it is basically a meatless dish. But that being a side topic, it's not a how should I say? It's not a political issue with me. It's a health issue. How do they say, the tests are in, and vegetarianism is definitely advantageous to your health. But it's not a point of argument for me. If people want to eat the flesh of other creatures, that's their take on life, and I'm okay with it. I'm not going to make it a big deal. Anyways, way off topic here. I'd like to stay on the farm topic. I have a few opportunities for networking coming up next month, and it's one of my first opportunities for networking. So obviously I'm taking advantage of it, trying to gain customers for the CSA scheme, which is community supported agriculture. Hopefully I'll get some interest there, and at the same time just continue to meet people in the area and continue to say hello, which is always what you have to do in a new area, and just continue to move forward. So by the grace of God, it will all work out great, and we'll see you on the next video.